To this day, Alan Watts' impactful and wise words circulate through the culture. We find them in many books he left behind and countless lectures. He wasn't just a philosopher who had very differentiated points of view from contemporary Western viewpoints, but also because he clearly embodied everything he taught, and in doing so, wholeheartedly engaged in and enjoyed life. According to Watts, in the process of human evolution, there was a time when we did exactly what we felt like. When we were hungry, we ate. When we were thirsty, we drank. When we were angry, we hit something. And when we were happy, we danced. But we never stopped to think that that was the right thing to do. We just trusted our intuitions and our instincts. And that was great because nobody worried back then. But somewhere around 5,000 years ago, we developed self-consciousness. We began to realize that by directed thought we could control our environment, and a sense of responsibility came into our minds. So when people began to see that they could provide for the future and they could look after things and take care, then immediately anxiety came in the world, and that is fall of the man. In the altogether excellent 1951 volume, The Wisdom of Insecurity, a message for an age of anxiety, Watts argues that the root of our human frustration and daily anxiety is our tendency to live for the future, which is an abstraction. He writes, if to enjoy even an enjoyable present, we must have the assurance of a happy future, we are crying for the moon. We have no such assurance. The best predictions are still matters of probability rather than certainty, and to the best of our knowledge, every one of us is going to suffer and die. If then we cannot live happily without an assured future, we are certainly not adapted to living in a finite world where despite the best plans, accidents will happen and where death comes at the end. The idea proposed by Alan Watts in order to deal with existential anxiety and suffering is basically based on two concepts of living. First is that we learn to live our lives in the present moment. According to Watts, the journey to finding meaning in life and deal with our anxieties is to simply be alive and aware in the present moment without initiating any actions on a complex societal level. In other words, our purpose of life is to simply experience what's happening within us and around us, not looking for meaning, not creating meaning, but allowing it to become cultivated from experiencing life. Tomorrow and plans for tomorrow can have no significance at all unless you are in full contact with the reality of the present, since it is in the present and only in the present that you live. There is no other reality than present reality, so that even if one were to live for endless ages, to live for the future would be to miss the point everlastingly. The second solution which Watts proposes comes from Taoism philosophy, and that is the power of letting go. The concept involves letting go of ideals imposed on us by our cultural, social, and religious beliefs, which we try to force too violently onto things. Letting go of ideals helps us to respond to the true demands of situations, which tend only to be noticed when we put our own ego-driven plans aside. Watts argues that we can let go of all our beliefs which keep us confined and chained to a certain limiting worldview. We can let go of an attachment to life and death. Doing so is not easy and requires a transformation of consciousness and attitude, but in the eyes of Watts, the time is perfect for such a transformation. The present phase of human thought and history is especially ripe for this letting go. Our minds have been prepared for it by this very collapse of the beliefs in which we have sought security. From a point of view strictly, if strangely, in accord with certain religious traditions, the disappearance of the old rocks and absolutes is no calamity, but rather a blessing. It almost compels us to face reality with open minds. Do subscribe and hit the like button, and if you like this video, don't forget to share your favorite quote from Alan Watts in the comment section.